stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I loan you mine. I think yours works better too.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
I'm here.
Hallelujah. Barbara Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick.
Here.
Dana Isabella.
Here.
James Coffey is absent. And I, Katie Kulishian, present.
I'm going to take a privilege of the chair for just a moment, and I want to welcome Tom back. On behalf of the town, Tom, we are very sorry about the loss of your wife. We keep you in thoughts, we keep you in prayers, and we just love you.
Yep. Ditto. Echo.
You
Glad to have
should
you
say
back.
that on camera.
You will
Glad to
say
have
on
you
camera.
back.
We love you, Tom.
So, I'm not trying to make you cry, but I just,
Oh, that's
I
working for
wanted
me.
you to know that
Yeah.
we know that you needed to be away for a while, and you had some stuff going on, but we're happy to have you back.
We missed you. Yes.
We're going to proceed with the first resolution, and that's Resolution 227. Approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of August 22nd of 2024 and September 5th of 2024 be accepted and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Is there anyone seeking to provide public comment this evening? Seeing no public comment, we will advance to the next resolution, 228, the abstract.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 10B-24 for $194,040.14. Abstract 10B-24 prepays for the amount of $196,928.33 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 229, setting a public hearing for certain elected officials' salaries and the 2025 preliminary budget.
Whereas a public notice of the preliminary budget and certain elected official salaries must be shared, therefore be it resolved that notice of hearing entitled Setting a Public Hearing for Elected Officials' Salaries and the 2025 Preliminary Budget shall be published once in the local newspaper and posted at the town hall as indicated. Notice is hereby given that the preliminary budget for the town of Plattsburgh for the year beginning January 1st of 2025 will be compiled and filed in the office of the town clerk on or before October 31st of 2024. Further notice is hereby given that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh will meet and review said preliminary budget and hold a public hearing thereon at the town hall located on Banker Road in the town of Plattsburgh, in Clinton County, New York, on Thursday, November 7th of 2024 at 6:05 p.m. prevailing time. At such hearing, any person may be heard in favor or against the preliminary budget as compiled, or for or against any item or items therein contained. The council persons at $13,000 each, the supervisor at $90,045, town clerk at $37,810, and the highway superintendent at $90,414. A copy of this preliminary budget will be available for inspection by all interested persons at the town hall on the Baker Road between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
All right. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I move to amend the salary for the council persons to go in the paper at $18,000 each. Now, if you look at what has happened over the years, when I came on the board in 2004, the salary was $12,000. $12,000 in 2004. In 2014, we were up to $14,500. That was then reduced because that year there were, we have financial difficulties, and Mr. Mannix moved that we go back to $13,000, a $1,500 decrease. So that was $13,000. So that was $1,000 more than in 2004. That was in 2014. Never mind the inflation rates during that time. Starting from 2014. Each year's inflation rates, had you been following them, was 1.6, 0.1, 1.3, 2.1, 2.4, 1.8, 1.2, 4.7, 8.0. So if you look at just the inflation rate each year, the salary from 14,500 would have gone up to 18,900. Now, if you just take the 13,000, which was only 1,000 more than in 2000 and 2004, and use the average rate, which was 1.88%, then the salary would have gone from 13,000 to 15,400. And we have been stagnant for that time. Other elected officials have gotten raises during that time, usually based on the raise that our employees get. I see no reason why we should be continually stay at the same salary, especially from the amount of work that many of the people on this board have done. Now, I know I brought this up before, and I've always been rebuffed, but there should be an increase, and I believe it's time to do that, and then do the same thing that we've been doing with our employees, just what we give them. If it's 0, if it's 0.1, whatever it is, that we would get the same amount. The difficulty of finding people who are good, who want to do this, and who can put in the time, it's not easy. And I think it's time that we raised it to a reasonable amount. Now, you could say that 18,000 is too much, and I can be reasonable about that. The county legislatures are now up to 22,500. I honestly feel that the people on this board do as much as the people that are on the county legislature. And they also get extra mileage. They get, if you're head of the committee, it's another $1,000. If you're on minority lead or something, you get another 500. So, to me, we provide, it's our work is valuable here in the town, and I think we should have that raise. And I know that we can't have the raise unless it goes into the paper. And since this is the resolution to put this in the paper, I am suggesting that we put it at 18,000. Now, when we have the budget hearing, we can reduce this before the budget is. It's possible to reduce it. We cannot increase it. So I am proposing that we set it at 18,000. I do not think there'll be a tremendous backlash after all the work that we've done and what we've done for the town throughout these last 10 years. So that's my proposal, and that's why I'm doing it.
All right. Thank you, Tom. I know you have a lot to say there, so I didn't want to disrupt you. I do need a second, and then we typically would go into a discussion. But
sorry.
I know it's all right. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Ebert. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Tom, while I agree that probably there is a need or that the increase is warranted, I would have a tough time, you know, you're talking about a $5,000 increase, so you're talking about almost a 40% increase in one shot. I would have a difficult time agreeing to.
We've had a supervisor get a large raise at one time versus having it regular. I've always proposed that it be on a regular basis, the smaller amount.
But I would rather see us do it, if we're gonna do it, do a smaller amount than do it on a regular basis. Versus, again, I have a tough time personally putting forth, you know, what's close to a 40, it's gotta be close to a 40% increase in one shot. And I realize you're talking about a time period of 10 years.
20.
I thought.
What's it gone up?
I thought you
Since
said.
2004, our pay is
2004.
1,000
Okay, I thought
more
you said
than what it was in
20.
2004, and I'm sure there has been some
Okay.
inflation since
I'm
then.
just, I'm just giving you my personal thought with it, that's all.
And I appreciate the information you're providing, Tom, so I think it certainly deserves discussion further in terms of rules for the amendment. I think most of us do this job because we really want to do it. I think Michael once said we beg to be elected, which we do. But certainly you have introduced it in the past, and I think it's certainly worthy of an introduction this year.
Is there any further conversation on the motion?
You know, understand that when we make the final budget, we can reduce it. And that would go to Chuck's point, and we can discuss it. But if we don't put it in the paper as such, then we can't discuss anything.
Okay. Seeing no additional further conversation on the amendment, there is an amendment on the floor to be considered to, the motion is to increase the counselor's salary each to $18,000. It was motioned and seconded. Can I get a roll call on the motion itself?
Thomas Wood,
Yes,
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Just for clarification, we're voting on Tom's motion to increase to 18, correct?
correct.
Do
No.
in the paper.
in the paper.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman,
I will vote yes, so that there is further conversation to occur. The motion passes as amended.
That was the,
So the published rate, just for clarity, because we need to go back to the original resolution, setting the public salaries for certain elected officials' salaries in the 2025 preliminary budget now reflects the new rate under the amendment. No other changes have occurred. Is there any additional discussion on the resolution 229? Is there any further conversation? Any further conversation? All right. So now as amended, with the full resolution, can I get a roll call?
yep,
Thomas Wood,
yes,
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
No.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman,
Yes, knowing that it's still going to public hearing. Resolution does carry. All right. Resolution 230, setting a public hearing notice for the consolidated assessment rolls.
one moment please. Resolved that public hearings be held by the town board at the town hall on Baker Road on Thursday, November 7th of 2024 at 6:05 PM prevailing time for the purpose of hearing and considering any comments which may be made to the completed consolidated assessment rolls that are on file with the town clerk pursuant to town law section 239 as follows. The Town of Plattsburgh Consolidated Water District, the Town of Plattsburgh Consolidated Sewer District, the Base Water District, the Base Sewer District, the Base Stormwater Management District, the Base Highway Maintenance Improvement District, the Highway Townwide, Town of Plattsburgh Lighting District, and Consolidated Ambulance District. It is further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to have published in the press Republican notice of said public hearings to be held at the town hall located at 151 Banker Road and also posted on the town clerk's board.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
I heard Costick, there was a second. Was that you, Tom?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Aye.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
aye,
Aye.
Resolution carries. Thank you. Resolution 231, receiving planning board report and recommendations from the town board for the ARKW LLC Plan Development District application.
Whereas it is regularly scheduled meeting on August 15th of 2024, the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board received a Plan Development District application from ARKW LLC for parcel number 205.3-2.1, and whereas pursuant to Article 9 of the Town of Plattsburgh zoning ordinance, all planned development district applications shall be referred to the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board for report and recommendation thereon. And whereas on August 15th of 2024, the Town Board referred said PDD application to the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board for report and recommendation in accordance with Article 9 of the Town of Plattsburgh zoning ordinance. And whereas on August 20th of 2024, the Planning Board by resolution number 24-50 did receive the referred PDD application. And whereas after review and consideration of the application, the draft report prepared by staff, and the public comments received at the public hearing held on September 17th of 2024, the Planning Board resolved to transmit the report and meeting minutes to the Town Board. And whereas the Town Board is now in receipt of the Planning Board report and resolution number 24-57, adopted at a meeting held on September 17th of 2024, and recommending the Town Board consider the following. 1. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board consider affirming that the existing allowed uses under the current R2 zoning will continue to be allowed uses within the proposed PDD. 2. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board consider increased setback requirements for the proposed commercial recreation, retail, and entertainment components of the PDD. 3. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board consider an increased buffer requirement for any boundaries between the PDD and residential neighbors. 4. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board consider start and end of season dates for the outdoor commercial recreation and entertainment components of the PDD. 5. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board consider limitations on the hours and days of operation for the commercial recreation, restaurant, and outdoor entertainment components of the PDD. 6. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board clearly identify uses that will not be allowed for the PDD, including the uses that the applicant has opted out of in their application. 7. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board consider regulating the storage of materials, equipment, goods, or maintenance machinery through the provision of screening or only allowing such activities in the side or rear yards of the property. 8. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board consider regulating the placement of uses outlined in the PDD on the subject property to minimize impacts to neighbors. 9. The Planning Board recommends that the Town Board consider the public comments received by the Planning Board at the public hearing on September 17th of 2024 in regards to this PDD application as outlined in resolution number 24-57, adopting this report of the Planning Board. And whereas New York State General Municipal Law, Section 23M or 239M is applicable, and this project shall be referred to the Clayton County Planning Board for review and consideration. And whereas Part 617 of the Environmental Conservation Law, State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQR, provides for the review of any action to determine the effect of the action on the environment, along with any related administrative procedures for the implementation, authorization, or approval of the action. Whereas determination of the effect of said action on the environment will be necessary to determine whether a draft environmental impact statement is required. And whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board is identified as an involved agency in accordance with SEQR for the purpose of assessing the effect on this planned development district on the environment and whether or not said effect is significant enough to warrant the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement, a DEIS. And whereas the Town Board has made the determination that they intend to act as lead agency and there are no other involved agencies under SEQR for the purposes of the Planned Development District application and have received the required long environmental assessment form, the EAF. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh is required to review and use the EAF to determine the significance of said proposed Planned Development District. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby declares itself as lead agency for the Planned Development District application and does hereby determine the proposed project is an unlisted action, and a coordinated review under SEQR will not be conducted as there are no other involved agencies. And be it further resolved, after review and discussion of the PDD application and the Town Planning Board's findings and recommendations report of the Planning Board dated September 17th of 2024, the Town Board does hereby receive and place on file said findings and recommendations report of the Planning Board. Be it further resolved that the Town Board does hereby accept the findings and recommendations report of the Planning Board and finds the report to be favorable in accordance with Article 9 of the Town of Plattsburgh zoning ordinance. And be it further resolved that the Town Board shall hereby proceed to 1. Schedule a public hearing on the above Planned Development District application in accordance with zoning ordinance Article 9 for November 14th of 2024 at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Town Hall at 151 Banker Road, Plattsburgh, New York. And 2, cause a notice of the time and place of said public hearing to be published in the Press Republican, a paper of general circulation in the town of Plattsburgh. And 3, cause a certified copy of this resolution, the planning board's report and resolution, the PDD application, and the public hearing notice be posted to the town's website. And 4, refer this PDD application to the Clinton County Planning Board in accordance with GML 239M and Town Zoning Ordinance Article 9. And 5, comply with the provisions of Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law, Part 617, the NYCRR seeker prior to rendering its decision. And 6, act on application within 45 days of the adoption of this resolution and within 30 days of the decision of the Clinton County Planning Board. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be provided to the Planning Department.
Do you need an EED? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, is there any discussion?
Is there, it says that there's no seeker to be done, but it seems like it has quite a few acres of coverage in this planned development. Just, is that something that comes later, or it's already been done?
Gonna refer to staff.
There is a seeker in there. What it said was that it's an unlisted action, so the seeker will still be conducted. It's just not gonna be referred to any agencies.
Okay, correct.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none? Can I get a roll call?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 232, publish a request for qualifications for an RFQ intended for professional consulting services for the Planning and Codes Department.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh is seeking proposals from qualified firms in New York State to provide professional engineering, consulting, and related services for the planning and community development and codes departments as outlined in the full text of the related request for qualifications the RFQ provided. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh will rank the responses received on an evaluation of the firm's ability to provide services to municipal clients, private clients, technical skills, experience, and reference information. The town of Plattsburgh reserves the right to reject any or all proposals and to conduct interviews at its sole discretion. Responses must be sealed and marked professional planning, codes, and consulting services, and received at the town of Plattsburgh's town office by 2 p.m. on December 10th, 2024. Responses must also be submitted digitally by email to the Planning and Community Development Department at jessicak@townofplattsburgh.org. Additional information regarding this request for qualifications may be obtained by calling the Planning and Community Development Department at 518-562-6850 during business hours Monday through Friday, or going to the Town of Plattsburgh website under public notices. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh does hereby authorize the supervisor to solicit and receive informal proposals for professional planning, codes engineering, and consulting services, and that the town clerk post notice on the town clerk's bulletin board, the Press Republican newspaper, and post on the town's website under public notices. It is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Planning and Community Development Department, Codes and Zoning Department, and the town clerk.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, Wood, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Just for context, this is something that we've been doing the last several years. It's worked out really well. Resolution 233, Clinton County Snow and Ice Agreement for 2024, 2025, 2025 to 2026, and 2026 to 2027. I'm gonna save you, Katie,
I'll move
because
that we table this amendment, by this resolution.
Mr. Wood,
It's not-
motion to table. There's some information that's developing, but we want to keep it on the docket. Is there a second to table?
Seconded.
Hebert, is there any discussion? Is there a motion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The item has been tabled and will be back on the table next week. Resolution 234, authorizing the purchase and installation of a new security system in the town of Plattsburgh Town Building.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Town Hall is an important public facility, asset, and resource, making it important for the town of Plattsburgh to maintain overall safety and security for the space. And whereas it is in the recommendation of the Town of Plattsburgh Safety Committee and the Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds, Mike Drew, that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Hall building receive a new security system, which will include a burglar alarm system, fire alarm system, door access system, surveillance system, and the associated software. And whereas Mr. Drew has received New York State contract pricing for said system as outlined in the proposal of $44,314.55 for door access intercom, $42,488.13 for the surveillance system, and $44,750 for the fire and burglar systems, respectively totaling $121,554, which includes labor and materials. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board does hereby accept the proposal and scope of services provided by NCC Systems in the attached materials. And be it further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to execute the agreements for said security system purchase and installation not to exceed $121,554. And be it further resolved that payment can be made payable from the 2024 Buildings and Grounds Equipment Capital Outlay account as stated here. It is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and the superintendent of buildings and grounds.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, any discussion?
This has, been in front of safety for quite some time, back and forth, back and forth. We just need to keep in mind that the fire and burglar alarms in this building are about 50 years old, give or take. Long since needed to be replaced. As far as the door access, the times that we're in today, this is gonna give us the ability to make sure that non-public areas can't be accessed. It will give us the ability, if we have to lock the building down, to lock the building down. And obviously the surveillance system, again, in the times that we're in today, upgrades the system, gives us the ability to not only deter, but if we have an event occur, gives us good information and good product that we can turn over. So.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck, and I do want to thank Mike Drew because he was able to provide a schedule of options, which I thought was very good, and able to answer questions, and Chuck clarified a few things as well, so it's understood in terms of sometimes the investment we have to make, especially with the safety committee's concerns and recommendations. So.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Resolution carries. Resolution 235, flooring repairs for Muslin.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Buildings and Grounds Department Superintendent Michael Drew has submitted a request to have flooring repairs done to the mausoleum located on Tom River Road in the Town of Plattsburgh. Excuse me. And was Mr. Drew, after soliciting multiple quotes in the Plattsburgh area, received one response from Lee Appliance Company, Inc. for labor and materials to repair 350 square feet, give or take, of damaged floor tile, with the total price for materials and labor being $7,881.22. Therefore be it resolved that the town board approve the purchase and installation as recommended by the Buildings and Grounds Superintendent, and the supervisor is authorized to sign any and all related documents required for the completion of said project. Be it further resolved that said purchase be made payable from the 2024 sanitary contractual expenditure account as stated here, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the Buildings and Grounds Superintendent and the Finance Manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Ward. I do just want to provide some additional context that these funds are from the perpetual care funds that we received from New York State.
And we did have opportunity to go over, take a look at it, and I think Mike has put together a good plan. If this works, the hope and thought is this will work. It's basically a test program in one of the wings to see if this is going to work. And if it does work, it's going to be probably the lowest cost remedy that we're going to be able to come up with. If this doesn't work, we're going to have to seek out alternatives as far as the floor is concerned.
Now, this is fairly new, that's coming apart.
Yeah, and it's fairly
This was-
significant to the
Yeah.
tiles that are up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
This-
very noticeable, and there's a safety risk to some of it. I mean, to the point where they've had to pull some tile up, put plywood in, and put a carpet over the top of it. So not only is it not aesthetically pleasing, it is a safety concern.
So this was work that New York State did before.
Yeah, this is one of the elements that we had expressed concerns
Yep.
at the very beginning, but they chose to go in a different direction, and it was
So we'll need more money from them then, okay.
Well, again, that's why we fought, to be able to go back to the Division of Cemeteries in the future. This does not deplete our perpetual care funds, but they are being used for perpetual care, okay?
Chuck said, Tom, we had a chance to do some on-site observations, so it's important.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 236, contract of services between the town of Plattsburgh and Heather E. King, SRA, for appraisal of property.
Whereas RBK Berg LLC, hereinafter the petitioner, is the owner of certain real property situated in the town of Plattsburgh with tax map number 246.1-10.10.2 and located at 41-51 and 57 Indian Bay Way, and Susan L. and Roger B. Kennedy Sr., the marital deduction trust dated April 29th of 2005, owner of certain real property situated in the town of Plattsburgh with tax map number 246.1-10.4 and located at 44 Spyglass Way. And whereas said property 41-51 and 57 Indian Bay Way has an assessed valuation of $1,957,000. And said property 44 Spyglass Way has an assessed valuation of $1,620,000. I'll be all right. $1,500. And whereas petitioner has filed a notice of petition and petition with New York State Supreme Court, County of Clinton, for review of the assessment under Article 7 of the real property tax law of the state of New York, dated July 17th of 2024, asserting that the full market value of this property, 41, 51, and 57 Indian Bay Way, is $1 million, and the property 44 Spyglass Way is $1 million. And whereas petitioner has filed a request for judicial intervention on July 17th of 2024, and whereas in order to defend the assessment of the town in these proceedings, a real estate appraisal assignment for the property 41, 51, 57 Indian Bay Way and for the property of 44 Spyglass Way is required. And whereas Heather King SRA has agreed to complete the assignment and real estate appraisals for the town of said properties under the terms and conditions contained in a letter from Ms. Heather King, which is attached hereto and made part hereof. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all documents required to retain the services of Ms. King under the terms and conditions set forth in the engagement letter.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second? Wood, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 237, contract services between the town of Plattsburgh and the inspector for the appraisal of property.
Whereas ARCP GSPLTNY 01NY LLC, hereinafter the petitioner is the owner of certain real properties situated in the town of Plattsburgh, the tax map number 233-4-2 and located at 59 Dunning Way. And whereas said property 59 Dunning Way has an assessed valuation of, in 2022 was $5,500,000. In 2023 it was $5,500,000, and in 2024 it was $4,500,000. And whereas the petitioner has filed a notice of petition and petition with the New York State Supreme Court, County of Clinton, for review of the assessment under Article 7 of the real property tax law of the state of New York for the final assessment roll years 2022, 2023, and 2024, asserting the assessed values are 2022 was $1,375,000, in 2023 was $1,375,000, and in 2024 was $1,175,000 respectively. And whereas the petitioner has filed a request for judicial intervention, and whereas in order to defend the assessment of the town in these proceedings, a real estate appraisal assignment for the property located at 59 Dunning Way is required. And whereas named Schechter, Schechter Valuation Services LLC has agreed to complete the assignment and real estate appraisals for the town of said properties under the terms and conditions contained in a letter from Mr. Schechter, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign all documents required to retain the services of Mr. Schechter under the terms and conditions set forth in the engagement letter.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, any discussion? Seeing none.
Yeah, the assessed valuation went from $5,500,000 to $4,000,000. 500,000 when the pilot was finished. I think that's why it went down. Part of that was higher.
Anything further? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 238, resolution granting the State of New York authority to perform adjustments of owner and agreeing to maintain facilities adjusted via the state-led contract.
Whereas the New York State Department of Transportation proposes the replacement of New York State Route 3 over Kelly Brook in the town of Plattsburgh, located in Clinton County, the PIN 7LC1.02, and whereas the state will include as part of the construction, reconstruction, or improvement of the above-mentioned project, the relocation and adjustment to the 8-inch ductile iron pipe water main and the appurtenances pursuant to Section 10, Subdivision 24 of the State Highway Law, as shown on the contract plans relating to the project and meeting the requirements of the OBR. And whereas the service life of the relocated and/or replaced utilities has not been extended, and whereas the state will provide for the reconstruction of the above-mentioned work as shown on the contract plans relating to the above-mentioned project, now therefore be it resolved that the town of Plattsburgh approves the relocation of an adjustment to their 8-inch ductile iron pipe water main and the apparatuses, and then on the above-mentioned work performed on the project and shown on the contract plans relating to the project, and that the town of Plattsburgh will maintain or cause to be maintained the adjusted facilities performed as above stated and as shown on the contract plans. And be further resolved that the town supervisor has the authority to sign with the concurrence of the town board any and all documentation that may become necessary as a result of this project as it relates to the town of Plattsburgh. And be it further resolved that the clerk of the town of Plattsburgh is hereby directed to transmit 3 certified copies of the foregoing resolution to the New York State Department of Transportation.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, is there any discussion?
Yeah, it says that there's not gonna be any extension of service life because of this. Did there need to be improvements there?
Not my understanding, no.
Okay.
Seeing nothing further, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 239, request to purchase a John Deere backhoe loader for the highway department.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Highway Department Superintendent Greg Brunel has submitted a request to purchase a John Deere 410 P-tier backhoe loader with a trade-in of our 2015 Case excavator, and Mr. Brunel received a quote from United Construction and Forestry using Sourcewell government contract pricing. The total price for the backhoe loader would be $165,140.43, plus a trade-in of $38,000 for our 2015 Case excavator, which makes the final price for said John Deere 410 P-tier backhoe loader $127,140.43. Therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize Mr. Brunel to order said piece of equipment from the United Construction and Forestry, and that payment for said backhoe loader be made payable from the 2025 highway budget equipment and capital outlay account as stated here, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent and the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 240, request to purchase a John Deere wheeled excavator for the highway department.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Highway Department Superintendent Greg Brunel has submitted a request to purchase a John Deere 190 GW FT4 wheeled excavator with a trade-in of our 2008 John Deere excavator. And whereas Mr. Brunel received a quote from United Construction and Forestry using Sourcewell government contract pricing, the total price for the excavator would be $337,862.68, plus a trade-in of $45,000 for our 2008 John Deere excavator, which makes the final price for said John Deere 410 P-tier backhoe loader $292,862.68. Therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize Mr. Brunel to order said piece of equipment from United Construction and Forestry, and that payment for the said excavator be made payable from the 2025 highway budget equipment and capital outlay account as stated here, and be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent and finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 141.
A resolution authorizing that Michael S. Cashman, who is the town supervisor, is empowered to act on behalf of the town of Plattsburgh as the authorized official. Resolved by the board of the town of Plattsburgh as follows. Whereas the town requires the board to designate the source of any money appropriated after the budget is adopted, and whereas the town of Plattsburgh is applying for $1 million in NBRC funding for the Battlefield Memorial Gateway Phase 2. Now therefore, Michael S. Cashman, town supervisor, is hereby authorized on behalf of the town of Plattsburgh to apply for, accept, and expend grant funds from the Northern Borders Regional Commission. The named authorized official has permission to sign all NBRC investment documents that bind the applicant.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Enthusiastically, yes. Resolution does carry. Before I seek an executive session, we have two colleagues here tonight that are here specifically to get that last resolution. They've had a long day, they've been working on DRI, they've been working on the northern border, but because they are here, I wanted to take this opportunity to publicly share this. It had been noted before that Jess and Trevor received an American Planning Association of the New York Upstate chapter, Making Great Communities Happen, as it regards to the implementation of the Battlefield Memorial Gateway. And they received this at the conference recently. I just want to publicly thank these two individuals. We have a very talented team in every single department. But if you knew the amount of hours this week alone that they have been putting into two of the largest initiatives that the town is undertaking to make this place, be as often referred to as globally known and regionally significant. I just want to thank them, applaud them, and also congratulate them on this recognition, because it's an outside validation of not only their work, but also the BMG. So congratulations.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And I know you folks hate that, but as the chair,
Yeah.
to do what I want.
Boss's prerogative. You get it.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I got a sneak
Yeah, you've had to
preview
put up
of
with
the
it for a
DRI,
long
so
time.
that is some great stuff. I have every bit of confidence in that submission, and certainly have every bit of confidence in execution when we receive the work.
That submission goes in tomorrow, is that clear?
Mhm.
Is that the deadline, I mean?
And
Both.
it is a great document.
Yeah.
Trevor,
Superb.
Trevor and Jess, thank you for making our learning curve, you increase it, and then you move it down, but then you increase it again. So I'm on for the
I
ride.
just feel smarter being in a room with
Yeah,
you.
so do I. But thank you, it
Thank
really
you for the
means-
opportunity.
Yeah.
With that said, I do know that there is a need for an executive session tonight regarding the work history through specific individuals. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Caustic. There is no formal action to follow this evening. Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, we will enter executive session at 6:43. It should not be long, but you need to address a couple of minutes. All right,